Hi and welcome back to my channel. Let's talk about service lifetimes in ASP.NET Core. We have transient, scoped, and singleton. Transient means every time you need a service, a new instance of that service will be created for you. Scope means the instantiation would happen only per request, and singleton means you will get only one instance per lifetime of your application. I have a time service class for my demo application that returns the time of construction in getTime method. And I have a couple of services that are using this service, my second service, and my repository. All of them are using iTime service. My second service is using my repository, and repository is using iTime service. That's the only difference between these services. And I have a test controller that I'm injecting my service and my second service. And for my test method, I am going to return the ticks value of get time just to compare what has happened in our application lifetime. For the start, let's inject all services in transient mode, and I have a breakpoint for my time service to hit every time we are constructing this class. And our test controller is injecting two services. These two services are using iTime service internally, and this is the method we are going to call. Let's start the application in debug mode, and first you don't hit any constructor because you are not using any of those services. And as soon as I get to API test, we hit the time service constructor for the first time. Let's continue, and we hit that again because these two services are being injected and both of them need iTime service. And just because we are using at transient mode, we are asking ASP.NET Core to inject a new instance of time service every time it is being asked for. And now let's continue and let's see the result. So the ticks are available, and there's a difference between these two times. So we asked for iTime service twice, and we got that twice, and every time we got a new getTime value. Let's inject iTime service in a scoped mode and run the application again. This time when we ask for API test, we only get time service injection once, and the value for time for both of these services are the same. But if we run this again, we get a new constructor execution, and again we have the same value for both of services, but the value is different between different requests. As I said, for a scoped lifetime, we get one instance per request. And since we had two different requests here, we got two different values, but in one request, as we see here, the time is exactly the same. Let's change this to add singleton and see what happens. I run the application again. This time, again, need to go to API test, and with the breakpoint here, only once. And as you can see, the time is the same for both services. And if I call for this service again, I get exactly the same values, even though I have two different requests asking for iTime service. If I can run that again and again, I get the same values between different requests. I can also run a different URL that is using the same services, and again get the same values. So when you are using singleton mode, the first time that you call the constructor of time service would be also the last time. Different lifetimes have different use cases. For example, DB context, when you use add DB context here, injects DB context classes in scoped mode because DB context or entity framework has a change tracking mechanism that has a state because you are tracking the changes and you need to keep tracking the state of changes. And as I said here, transient is not good for stateful services. And if you inject DB context in transient mode, it will lose the ability of its change tracking mechanism. And if you inject the DB context in singleton mode, you will keep tracking the same changes for the entirety of your application, and that will also cause some problems. So between these three lifetimes, a scope seems to be the perfect solution for DB context. So for different services, you need to check and make sure which one works the best. Thanks for watching and see you soon.